Hello and welcome back to Bourbon Real Talk. I'm your host, Scott Minton. Today we are back with the Brock family. We are chilling in the bourbon bunker and we are drinking on some Russell's Reserve 13-year-old Old Forester single barrel. This one is the apple butter if you've not heard of it or seen it. And then last but not least, we are going to try the Michter's limited release barrel strength rye. Because like we talked on a previous episode, Miss Barbara loves her rye, so she had to bring one to the table that we were all going to try and see how much we love and enjoy it. So it looks like, if I remember correctly, apple butter came out late in 2020. The Michter's, it says it's a 2020 release, so we're going to go with that. And we know Russell's Reserve 13 just came out, 6, 8, 10 weeks ago, 2021. So that's going to be a fairly new one, and we're gonna dive into these bad boys and tell everybody what we think. So everybody pick up number 1, Russell's Reserve 13. Dive in, get that nose in there. I'm still jealous because Barbara has the fattest noses on these things. She's got the big wide open mouth. Glencairn's over there, and I got a big ass nose. I'm trying to get this thing down to this tiny little Glencairn. I can't do it. I mean, I don't have the schnoff nose, but I got a big enough.
Nobody
nose.
has a schnoff nose.
No, nobody does. Dude could smell all your bourbon from right here on the bar. He'd be like, "Oh, you've got blah 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 blah." If you just left him open, he could smell them. So
I get brown sugars like the first thing.
Brown sugar, yep.
Agreed.
Yep. So I was going to get more specific. I was going to say like toasted brown sugar, like on the top of flan or creme brulee or
Pop-Tarts.
like something like that. you know what?
We have the ranges. We have creme brulee, Pop-Tart.
But a brown sugar Pop-Tart does have that creme brulee, like super sweet.
Yes, it does. Yes,
like
it does.
That crunchy, like brown sugar.
The best Pop-Tart ever.
Well, and one of my favorite sayings is to each their own.
No,
Everybody has their own flavors that they like. And they have their own smells that they like and their own tastes.
Exactly. That's what makes bourbon beautiful and rye beautiful is the fact that it's to each their own. There's some things that people love and I don't really care for, and people are like, well, I can't believe you don't like that. And I'm like, to each their own, right? Like my favorite recipes for Four Roses are different than a lot of other people's. Like I like the OESO and the OBSO, but I like those delicate fruit notes, different things like that they bring out of that high rye. And then some people really like the OESK or they like the OBSK or different things like that. So it's just everybody's different. Everybody likes what they like, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely nothing wrong with that.
And Lord knows I don't have like the most sophisticated palate. I like to think that I do, but I like sometimes I'm just like, yeah, that's real good. So yeah, I get that brown sugar. I definitely get the rye. I mean, you can pull the rye out of there. Mm-hmm. And it's not a floral rye though. It's bringing some of that fruit forward. We mentioned in one of the last episodes something about bubblegum. Maybe just a touch of bubblegum in this one.
Yeah, actually, I whenever you say that, start thinking more of the juicy fruit as mentioned before.
Yeah, a little bit of that juicy fruit.
A little bit of bubble yum.
Bubble yum, I could get that. Bubble yum. Juicy fruit, maybe a little big league chew.
Ironically enough, I came in second in a bubble blowing contest with bubble yum.
Look at you. You're like a rock star, man. Pass out drunk in the backyard and blow the best bubble. Winner, chicken dinner. Nick won the lottery on women today.
That's right.
I did. I can't say I am very happy and very lucky that,
Obviously married up.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things of like, how often can you say you can enjoy a bourbon journey with somebody, with your wife?
It's very, very few and far between. My wife's not a bourbon drinker. She will drink a cocktail made with bourbon, but she's not going to drink bourbon. No, not going to happen.
My wife will tell you she's a Four Roses fan because her grandmother was a Four Roses fan.
Just because she likes to get 4 roses on Valentine's Day and birthday.
As God is my witness, I could put anything in the glass. She mixes it, so she'll never know.
She'll never know.
She's a Coke drinker, right? All of a sudden the Diet
Coke
starts going.
No, ginger ale or Sprite.
Okay.
Ooh, has she ever had Verner's?
No.
Oh my God, Verner's is the freaking best.
No, wrong.
Thank you.
Wrong.
Whatever.
Everybody here is wrong.
Detroit. Verner's.
Bring on the Verner's.
Nope.
I grew up every time I was sick. I always had
Verner's.
Verner's.
Is the best. I grew up in Michigan.
Bundaberg.
And Verner's is the freaking best.
I admit I've never had that one.
If you've never had Bundaberg ginger ale, then you've not had ginger ale.
I don't know. Werner's is
Where's
pretty
that
darn
from?
good.
I like Werner's perfectly fine. Bundaberg is actually made in Australia.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, hell.
It's made in Australia. It's shipped here. They have about 5 different varieties. They even have a peach ginger ale, which is absolutely magnificently
Ooh.
delicious.
Can you buy it here?
You can. So World Market on Shelbyville Road, you can get most of their varieties there.
Okay.
Look at me. I'm giving a commercial. Somebody, damn it, I screwed up again.
Field trip.
But anyway,
Barbara, let's go.
my actual favorite is the Christmas spice.
Okay.
Which, man, it's just it's so good. I mean,
Hey,
it's like
don't knock it.
It's like apple cider mixed with ginger ale, but it's that bite ginger ale. It's like that ginger. Like, have you ever had like old school like North Carolina, like the ginger ale that like bites you back, you know?
Most certainly, always.
So that's what Bundaberg is, especially that I should have brought some with me because actually I have some. I bought like 8 cases at Costco of the Christmas spice one at the end of the season whenever they were like getting ready to try to like close it out, and I'm like, I'm buying it all.
Oh, wow.
Fat Scott went in there, chubbied all up in, grabbed a bunch of them, started loading them up in the cart. Dude's like, do you like ginger ale, dude? And I'm like, I sure do. I like it a lot. It tastes good.
Hey, I've turned quite a few people on to Werner's.
Yeah. So I don't dislike Werner's. I'm just telling you, it's not Bundaberg.
Okay. I'll have to find it.
If you can't find Werner's, try Canada Dry Bold.
Yeah, Canada Dry Bold. I'll tell you
That
what,
one's close.
So
Yeah.
Canada Dry, they just started off the Bold series. They got one that's lime and one that's lemonade. Both of them are actually really good.
We actually have the cranberry and the other varieties of Canada Dry there.
Gotcha. Yeah. So good deal. All right.
All right. Back to the bourbon.
Back to bourbon.
I love you people.
So this one, fantastic nose.
I'm disappointed in the finish.
So that's the
drops
one thing
off.
that I've heard is that it's not got a big finish on it,
No,
but
not at
everybody said that. But so tell us about you got on the flavor. I'm going to dive in and take a drink because obviously Steven's ahead of us.
The taste is great.
Cheater.
It's very smooth, very mouth filling, but it just dies in my throat. I don't.
Tobacco.
I get
Cherry.
almost a nutty, which is surprising because you get a little bit more nutty out of like Knob Creek and the Beam products, the higher end Beam products. But I just get just a slight nuttiness at the end.
Is it like a peanut or a pecan?
Like a peanut,
You get
Peanut,
so I was
like
wondering.
a salty peanut.
So
More peanut, definitely.
and I'm the opposite. I get pecan.
Really,
I get like some pecan, and I'm getting that caramel, and I'm getting like a cherry, like tobacco-y type.
I definitely get that cherry tobacco. It's kind of like that floral part of the tobacco that comes out.
Yeah, no, 100%. But that's weird. I'm trying to. I'm going back in here. Now.
Go back in, dive.
I like the flavor of the taste, but I'm really disappointed in the finish.
Yeah, it does. For the most part, it does just kind of die on your mouth. Mm-hmm. I agree with you on that one.
I don't know. I still get kind of like a little leftover taste of that peanut towards the end, but that's what I get.
Again, like I said, to each their own.
All right, I'm gonna drop some water.
Tell him.
I still don't
That's
get
right,
the
tell him.
peanut. I wish I did because I like peanut. Because I love Knob Creek.
Right.
I love a Knob Creek single barrel, especially when you get them old ones, them 13, 14-year-olds. I shouldn't say that. That's wild. I'm going to jail.
Yeah, while we're doing this, one of the interesting things is that I recently had a few friends over, and one of mine is a strict Irish person. So he's Jameson, ginger ale, solid drinker of that. Would not drink anything else.
That being said, I did turn him on to Werner's.
There you go.
But as we were experimenting and trying a few of the different bourbons we have in the bunker here, he ended up actually really liking the Old Foe 1910, the old fine whiskey.
Gotcha.
I mean, which is interesting because, I mean, we had him try a couple of the other, like, typically the palate pleasers. I did a Michter's American whiskey, a few of the others that are just, Woodford, Michter's, just trying to get him into it.
Right.
Just seeing what he might like, the areas that he likes. But then whenever he tried that, 1910 old fine whiskey, he was like, oh, that's actually good.
So 1910 is my favorite outside of like single barrels or some of the other standard, some of the other like high-end products that Oak Forester released. 1910 1910, 1920 of the everyday ones that you can find. Like, to me, I don't think you can get any better than those. So I can see where that's the case. Now, did he try Woodford Double Oak?
Yes, he did.
And he didn't like that? Mm-mm. That's weird. They're
also
so similar.
I let him try the double oaked, and also we have some down home toasted.
Gotcha.
And he did not care for that either.
Gotcha.
We try to ease him into the toasted, kind of similar things that you would get from kind of an Irish Scotch, possibly enjoying, but it was the Old Fine whiskey that really hit him.
1910 is my favorite of the Whiskey Row series.
Yeah, I actually took that in a flask to a non-alcohol location, but it was extremely good to kind of sip on through a flask.
So oddly enough, I tried this one with water.
Barbara looks embarrassed.
No, because I took my own stuff with me.
Rye.
Wow.
Something rye.
Took some rye. So I tried with a little bit of water. Now, to me, it brings out some more of those sweet notes, and actually the rye dies off on this one. This is the first one I've ever had that was a high rye mash bill, like a Wild Turkey or an Old Forester, to where it really milds out the rye.
It does.
But the finish what finish it had is completely gone with a little bit of water.
Water trashes this.
I know, man. It just completely takes it away.
Terrible. I mean,
Yeah.
It makes it a much sweeter pour, but it takes
Right.
away the flavor.
Yes, I get front and mid, but the finish, the end, back of the palate, just falls.
Yeah, I don't even really get much front. I just get a little mid palate, and the rest of it just is gone.
Yeah.
Agreed.
100%.
Agreed.
Too crazy.
And I know that people are out looking for this stuff, paying big bucks in secondary. Frankly, they can have it.
Yeah.
I
This
am
one,
not a fan. I am not impressed.
I'm not sure that the juice is worth the squeeze in this situation.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
So I think this, secondary is around 400.
Yeah,
Secondary, yeah.
So
easily 400. I've seen Weller 12 plus an OWA going for that, if not more.
yeah. You know what? I might trade it for those too. I mean, it'd be real hard, but it's just because the simple fact is I'm Wellered out. I've had so much Weller in my life. And that's horrible to say, but Weller was my everyday drinker. I mean, before it became obsolete and nobody could get it, I mean, that's what I drank. I mean, I had bottles and bottles and bottles of Weller 12 and Antique 107 set in my basement. Old labels, everything else.
And Weller 12 doesn't match up to OWA.
No, OWA is still probably the best
that's
pour
the
of the
king.
group. It's still the king. I know they tried with Foolproof their best to do their own thing, and there are a few, in my opinion, morons in the world that think CYPB is the best, but
Yeah.
juice
Did
is
you
not
say
worth the
moron?
squeeze. I did say morons. Do you prefer CYPB over OWA? Please tell me you don't.
Hell no.
I was about to say, if you do, I was about to throw a bottle of water at you.
No,
Steven.
not at all. OWA is the best of all.
But
It's a perfect proof.
I always laugh because
It's
people.
solid bottle.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. So this second one, this apple butter, man,
Yeah,
it's got the apple on the front.
Oh, it absolutely does. It absolutely does.
I smell my grandmother's apple pie.
Do you?
I do. I still get some of that kind of like cinnamon
That-
clove.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I get the baking spices, but I don't get any of like that buttery,
Not really, but
like
that
breaded
apple.
product.
Yeah, but that apple with those spices. So like the innards of my grandmother's apple pie.
I tell you, I'll even one up that a little bit, and not to be one upper, but like it reminds me of what's the one apple pie that's got all the stuff on Dutch apple pie.
Dutch apple pie.
With the caramel on top.
with that
Yeah, because it's got that
Or that-
caramel. I agree. Yeah,
It's got that right on the nose.
There's
most certainly.
Old Forester puts out a lot of things with different names, and this one I think really lives up to the name.
It's not apple orchard apple.
No.
Like that one.
No.
I'm telling you, like if you've not ever had the honey orchard, the
Nope.
single barrel, oh my God, it literally smells like you walk into an orchard, like an apple orchard. Like
Oh,
it's
wow.
just like in like with that fresh, like crisp, appley smell. I'll have to bring y'all a sample. I've got.
This is a
I
pie.
might have a couple, but this is apple pie. That's what this
Yeah,
is.
this is definitely apple pie.
Let's see what it tastes like. Does it taste like apple pie, Steven? You've actually tried this one, so I'm gonna let you take the lead on this bad
Oh,
boy.
no. Let me pass.
I'm gonna pass. Here's I'm drinking.
Going to the people who haven't tried it before.
At least I'm getting a cinnamon forward on this.
I agree completely. Very cinnamon forward.
Yes. So cinnamon on the front side,
Definitely.
but man, oh And now I swish around probably more than the average Joe, but like, man, I'm on the tongue and on the tip of my lips.
What?
I swish around. So when I first take a sip, I always take it in, swish it around everywhere. You know?
Kind of like a mouthwash.
Yeah, kind of like a mouthwash.
That's
I
called a
kind of do that
chew.
too.
Is that what a chew?
That's a chew.
Okay.
Cool. I'm chewing the
Not a
bourbon.
swish, it's a chew.
I'm chewing the bourbon. So I take a heavy chew then, evidently. Mm-hmm. And man, I'm gonna tell you what, that bit the whole front side of my mouth when I did the swish. But get some apple, get some cinnamon. The apple goes away though on the taste.
Yes,
it does, but
The
it's
smell?
a little
Yeah.
bit on the finish, the very back.
It's kind of funny. I almost get banana on the front.
That's you be you.
There's always banana
I mean-
Old Forester.
Yeah, I mean, I maybe get a little banana or
But, I mean, you think with
apple,
apple-
on the back on the finish than the forward. I still can't get past the cinnamon.
Mine's in the mid
It's hard to get
palate.
past
The banana's on the mid palate. Like you get the cinnamon and that crush of cinnamon and like a brown sugar on the front side, and then like in the mid palate, right before it dives into that apple, you get like that fruity like almost like rotten banana type like banana nut bread banana
Mushy-
Oh,
mushy
banana bread,
bananas.
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
mushy bread,
right in the mid
yes.
palate,
Yes,
right before it goes
absolutely.
into the finish. It's really weird. It's
I get it
unique.
when I breathe in after I've tasted it.
So you've been breathing hard enough the whole time, man. I'm gonna have to edit out like 90% of your. Got Darth Vader over here to the podcast. That and every time he sets a glass down.
Yeah,
Damn, Steven, you're hurting me, man. Hurting my feelings.
I'm sorry.
You're so loud.
I'm sorry.
Like a herd of cats, man. They're out fighting. Damn. Killing me, Smalls. Killing me.
I'm just grateful the kids haven't come back down.
They're like, what the hell are they talking about? They're up there cursing now. So, all right. I'm gonna add a little water after
They're
I have one
shopping on
more sip.
Amazon probably. So
Doubtful. I don't think they know that site yet. Thank God.
Oh my God. So I
I
can
bet you do.
we live and die by Amazon. Huh?
Live on Amazon.
Oh my God. I came home like 2 weeks ago and like there were like 6 packages on the front step. And I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm like, I haven't been on Amazon, things like this. Well, evidently my wife had activated Siri to allow to order on Amazon. So my kids are literally just ordering shit left and right. Like, hey Siri, or Alexa or whatever, like put whatever on our shopping list. Poof. And I'm like, oh my God, like how on earth does this happen? And I'm like, so I had to go in and take that off. And
Oh, no.
But I was like,
Well, your daughter needs stuff for college.
and lucky enough, that's what it was. It was like shower gel type stuff, and then it was like sheets and linens, and like there was a pair of shoes on there. They sent us the wrong size. I had to send them back, and we got the other ones back. But like, I'm like, holy God! I mean, like, who turned this on, or did somebody do it? Did I do it? Like, somebody turned this crap on and like enabled like just straight up just ordering right off the Alexa app. So not one of my finer moments coming home to like 9 packages.
Definitely not turning that on in my house.
That's
So grateful
very
my-
dangerous.
So grateful my daughter stayed home through her undergraduate at IUS.
Oh, that's funny. One of our neighbors is actually a teacher at IUS.
Yep.
Fancy schmancy. What do they teach at IUS?
Public speaking, I think it was.
Public speaking?
I
Yes.
think it is public-
Communications or public
yeah,
speaking.
something like that.
After the water.
Yeah, the nose falls off.
Yes, it does.
It does.
I get a lot of alcohol now.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, Barbara. You get a lot of alcohol. It almost goes medicinal. I don't know. Let's try it, taste it.
Really mellows
I mean,
out.
well,
Really minimizes the taste too.
It does because I don't get that forward cinnamon much anymore. It kind of goes almost to that mid to late palate there, but even then at the late palate it just falls.
Dives.
Yeah,
It's just-
it stays well above the collarbone on the the finish for sure. I'm
It's
trying
just,
to.
it's just bourbon. It's nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing
exciting
distinctive
about
about it with
Nope.
with the water. I'm sad.
I am too.
We turned a perfectly good glass of bourbon into just bourbon.
Come on, old Forster.
You know,
I'm so sad.
and oddly enough, it's one of those funny things is because I mean you're a 90 proof pour,
I am.
you know, on the old Forester. So I thought adding a little water, you'd be like, oh, I'm all over this. Like, But no.
No, the 90s and the 100s have a whole much more flavor and complexity than this does with water.
Yeah, I agree completely.
I think it's because they're blended barrels in that situation. All right, so I'm gonna save this last little bit and we'll drink it, and we're gonna go into the Michters. So the Michters is coming in at 108.8, and I don't know if I said it or not, but the Old Forester is 131 even, and the Russell's Reserve is 114.8. So at least it's higher than the old standard Russell's Reserve for the 13 year. They gave you a little something special. Ooh. 4 extra bips.
4. Yeah.
Just remember not to add the water.
Do not add water. Right now, they're all no waters.
Yeah, right now.
I agree completely.
Yeah. I mean,
So we're going to dive into this Michter's Limited Barrel Strength Rye and see what we think on it.
Barbara's choice.
yes.
Barbara's choice. Mrs. Howe.
It's a very light
Was
nose.
that? No, her name was Lovey, wasn't it? Lovey Howe. From Gilligan's Island. Am I showing my age? Me and you are the only ones that know that.
No, I know
No,
Gilligan.
no, no.
Gilligan's
I know
Island.
Gilligan's Island.
Lovey. Mrs. Howe. Was that her name? Lovey?
Yes.
I think it was Lovey.
I'm not sure if that was her name.
Either
If
that
that's
or
just what
Thurston and Lovey. That's what it
Thurston
was.
called
yes.
her.
Either that or was
Yep.
as a pet name.
I think
Yeah.
it was more of a pet name.
Yeah.
You think so?
I think it was.
Well, damn. Now I'm gonna have to Google it. Somebody got the Google monster. Now we gotta fight.
All right. Barbara's faster than mine.
Quick draw McGraw over here.
I've taught her well from an IT standpoint.
Jeez, I'm telling you.
Agreed. I have too much knowledge of IT. I am the IT guru at my office. Everybody comes to me when there's an issue.
I'm
first.
the IP guru at the office. I IP
Tonight's
all the
Nick
time
Hayden.
because I drink a bunch of water.
Because the thing is that as soon as she doesn't know what it is, she messages me saying, "Hey, I need help."
At least she has somebody to call, right? Like, I just tell people, I'm like, just unplug it and plug it back in, and hopefully it works.
Power up, power down.
Two
down, power up.
cardinal things that'll always happen with IT. One, you call the IT person, they show up, it magically starts working.
Right.
Nobody does anything, it just starts working.
All right.
The second number thing is that you do the one reboot, even though they told you to reboot, you didn't reboot. But as soon as you reboot, it magically starts working.
Absolutely. All right, so we've got Barbara. She's ready. Google.
All right. So her name is Eunice Lovey Howell.
So Lovey is a nickname.
Lovey is a nickname.
So Eunice. Eunice, that's an old lady name for sure.
Most
There's
certainly.
nobody
There was a-
named
there was an
Eunice
old
on the
show-
planet right now.
Yeah, like Thurston is a modern name. So
Thurston.
Now, one funny thing about names, and I'm going to bring this up while we're doing this,
All right.
is the name Linda.
Linda.
As currently, you don't really hear of any girls named Linda anymore.
Lindas are all 60 or older. Yep, I get you.
All right.
Exactly.
Bingo.
But I will say that there are 5 Lindas in our life. It is my mother's, her mother's,
My adopted mother.
her adopted mother's,
My foster mother.
and then my sister-in-law's mother, all named Linda.
Holy crap. But they're all over 60, aren't they?
They are all over
course they
60.
I have an Aunt Linda.
well,
And then I have...
Oh, don't forget your father's half sister,
Yes, my father's half-sister is actually
Yeah.
named Lister.
And then I-
Linda.
Linda.
And then my dad's cousin is a Linda, too. So, but
Everybody always joked with me if
They're
I had a
super
daughter, I'd name her Linda, and I said, not a chance.
yeah.
Now,
So both...
so point counterpoint. I have a sister, Melissa.
Okay.
I have a stepdaughter, Melissa. She's deemed herself Melissa too. And I have a daughter-in-law, Melissa. She's Melissa 3 because Melissa 2 came into the family before Melissa 3 came into the family.
Of course.
And that's all.
All right. All right.
All right, Jim Rome. Thanks for the dramatic pause. And that's all. And that's all, folks.
My pleasure.
But that's the one dude in radio I cannot stand. Jim
You love
Rome.
me, Scott.
Dude.
You know it.
No, I'm talking about Jim Rome. No, I love you,
No, you
Steve.
love me
I love
too.
the legend. I love the legend. But Jim Rome, it's like everything is paused for dramatic effect. He's like, well, tell me, Tom, what did it feel like winning the Super Bowl this year? And working with so-and-so craft. Yeah. like you had to wait 35 seconds to add the last part? I just don't get the dramatic pause. So maybe I should start doing that. People would be like hanging on to every word. But then I'd be like, I would end up editing it out because I hate all that dead air. I'm like,
I can understand that completely.
cannot stand dead air. So
They'd be hitting the X and going on to something else.
they would just hit fast forward. That's what they would do. They'd be like, oh, 10 seconds. There we go. Scott's,
Can we get back to the rye now?
Yes.
Oh,
Wow. Have you drank it yet? Are you ready to? Are you ready
I
to
have
give us your
not. I've
notes?
been waiting for you all.
Well, you can drink at any time. We're talkers, man. This
I
is
know
all about
we're
talking.
talkers. You're preaching to the choir on talkers.
All right,
Now,
somebody has
You
to
haven't-
dive
you
in
haven't been
first,
to-
so we don't have as much dead air space. So
She-
you
she-
could have already tried it, and then you could give us your assessment, and then we could dive in after you.
she
Come on,
hasn't met
Barbara.
Nick Hayden yet.
no, I mean,
no,
you
for
know,
real.
Speaking of talkers,
the interesting thing about this that I find is that it has a lot of baking spice. It has, kind of like almost the baking soda to it. It has just kind of like a little soft cinnamon to it as well.
Most certainly, I agree. That cinnamon is very, very faint on the nose.
Yep.
That baking soda really kind of comes forward.
it's an excellent pour. Very, very soft, but very.
It's super delicate. It's
It's
very,
very
delicate.
delicate.
Very
Yeah.
Very,
delicate.
very delicate.
Now, then what I get on the palate, though, is I get a lot of, like, allspice. I get, that star anise kind of flavor on the kind of front to mid.
Yeah, man, there's a word I haven't seen somebody use yet. Star anise on the podcast. Have you even cooked with star anise before?
I have.
Look at this. So never mind. I thought this dude was gonna break out like it's fairly like marzipan mixed with speculoos.
She can't deny that I am the cooker, and I have literally a full, was it the
Lazy Susan.
Lazy Susan, completely full of spices.
And that's fair. I always laugh because some people, everybody does, like literally somebody has something that they know or smell or taste, whether it's from when they were a kid or from, like, you might be an avid cooker, different things like that, and somebody will bring something out, I'm like, what the hell did you just make up? Like, I mean, that is some bullshit right there.
He always knew when he first met me, I was never going to be a cooker.
Right.
Never.
I'm the cooker in the family.
Bring it on.
So, like, I remember the first time that I ever had it was speculoos, was when I was in Switzerland with the family and stuff like that. They have, like, instead of peanut butter, it's literally speculoos butter. It's like they take speculoos cookies, smush it up and grind it and make it into like peanut butter. And the kids were eating it on bread, like bread and butter or things
Yeah.
like that. And I'm like, what are you all eating? And they're like, oh, it's it's speculoos, Mr. Scott. And I'm like, okay, great. So I dive in on this stuff and I tried. I'm like, oh my god, that is really weird. Like, I don't understand why you eat this. It's tasty, but it is super weird. So long story short, I was like 4 months later, I was drinking something and I was like sipping away. And I was like, God damn, this tastes like speculoos. and I was afraid to say it because I knew as soon as I said it, somebody was going to be like, that unpretentious son of a gun over there. He's just pulling bullshit out of his mouth. And I'm just like, but it is true. Like so I'm at least glad that you use star anise. So, but I definitely get the baking spices. I'm more of a clove, maybe a
excellent-
little bit of nutmeg.
Excellent
Yes,
pour.
I see the nutmeg. I do actually mid palate. I get that little bit of nutmeg there.
Tiny bit of that nutmeg. Yep. I typically do not steer people wrong.
Yeah. No, this is definitely a solid pour, but I love this pour anyway. Now, I've not had the 2020 yet. I've had 2019, 2018. I mean, I've had a bunch of these different ones, but man, you just can't go wrong with a Michter's pour, I tell you.
Right now, everything that we've tried from a Michter's, whether it be, the American whiskey, I love it as just a sipper. I'll just pour it. I'll just sit there and drink it a little bit. I honestly have not had the sour mash yet, so I'll be willing to take any type of recommendations from that.
Regular sour mash is better than toasted.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, the toasted sour mash, that is one of the juice is not worth the squeeze for sure.
No,
Interesting, because he
Regular-
really, really loves the toasted stuff.
Oh yeah.
I like the toasted stuff too, but toasted sour mash does not match up to regular sour mash.
Okay, that's good to know.
I mean, you can try it. Maybe you'll be different, right? Everybody's different.
Everybody's different.
But I can tell you right now, when I drank the toasted sour mash, I was super disappointed. I mean, just super, super disappointed. Because I'm like you. I don't mind the sour mash. I like it. I like the consistency that comes out of that product and the flavor profile that comes forward on that, especially on like the nose and on the mid palate. But when I got into the toasted sour mash, I was just like, man, it just was woody without any of the good characteristics to go with it. It was just real weird. Just I don't
Okay.
know. I wasn't a big fan.
Okay.
All right, you almost sound like you're going towards gin.
You know, I wouldn't go gin because I hate gin. But I mean, I didn't hate it. I just didn't like it. So I added a little water this time.
Yeah, I need to add a little water.
The
to this.
nose is not as good. I will agree.
It goes alcohol-y.
It does go
goes
very
alcohol.
alcohol-y.
Spicy, alcohol-y. You get a lot of
Finish-
pepper.
The finish is better.
The finish is better.
Agreed. Of the Michter Rise, this one has not been one that I have actually had before. So it's kind of neat. I'm actually experiencing it with you guys. And I agree with you. It is definitely a lot smoother with the water afterwards.
I don't know that I like it better with water. It's definitely different. It's more mellowed out. The rye doesn't pop forward like we normally get when we add water to it.
Well, I think it's because
I feel like you
it's
lose a-
rye as opposed to a high rye bourbon.
And that's true. That might be the case. But also, I feel like we lose a little bit of the baking spices in the mid palate.
You do, but it's one of the weird things that I just hit, and I'm wondering if it hits with you guys. But kind of like cinnamon bread, like the cinnamon bread taste, because all of a sudden I just hit that like cinnamon bread aftertaste, almost like a coffee cake.
Monkey
But-
bread.
Yeah, monkey bread.
Monkey bread.
Yes.
Yes.
I get that a little bit. Mm-hmm. A little bit.
As I said, I'm not going to deny that it kind of falls off a little bit.
Yeah.
But it that front forward, taste that you get front to mid.
Most certainly. And I get a little bit, it's almost like what I would call my granddaddy's famous toast, which was butter, thick butter,
Butter, thick butter.
thick cinnamon, and then just barely toasted, where it was still soft in the middle, not crunchy in any way.
Huh.
Kind of those soft, mellow flavors
Yeah.
that really kind of kick that cinnamon out, but still had that kind of oily, buttery,
Spice taste.
smooth taste.
I still think I prefer this neat.
I
Can Nick-
agree.
Can Nick
Oh, no,
make that for
absolutely.
us?
Huh?
Can Nick make that for us?
No, but I can.
Oh,
She said I can do that.
That's one of her few things that is. And then also the other weird thing is
Wow, he
that
just
we
said Barbara knows how to make toast.
yes, our Max size make toast. The other thing is that we actually found at one of our local retailers is cinnamon toast crunch spice. So you can just kind of pour that over top of
Like cereal spice? Like
yes,
Cinnamon Toast Crunch? Really?
Yes,
You got it, dude.
absolutely. We have it upstairs.
So have you
Cool.
seen the new coffee creamers that are one of them is Fruity Pebbles and the other one is Cocoa Pebbles?
It doesn't really matter. I don't drink coffee.
Oh,
We're unfortunately neither of us are coffee drinkers because
Really?
it's one of those things of like going coffee is going to be a slippery slope for me. As soon as I start, it's going to be a downward spiral that's not going to return. So I've been kind of like monsters, and that's been about it.
I get that.
Now,
I get
that being said, we did find which one was it? Fruit Loop Kit Kat.
Is that one of them Japanese Kit Kats that they brought over here?
I don't know if they brought it over here, but I got one upstairs.
There you go.
Well, the Kit Kats just more recently decided to try some of those random flavors. They also did a key lime pie that was really amazing, and then they've also kind of done a light milk chocolate and dark chocolate option as well.
So my favorite of the new Kit Kats is the one that's coffee, mocha coffee or something
Again,
like that.
we don't do coffee in this house.
And I get that, but
the
to me,
hell's wrong with you?
if I didn't have coffee, I would just, I'd be like, I'm out. Like, I'm just done.
Oh my God.
Like, I have to have coffee.
Day has to start with coffee.
And there are some days where coffee literally starts with bourbon cream in it. Like, but one.
I drink my coffee like I drink my bourbon neat.
Ooh.
Bingo.
Go back to the just give a sniff on the
Number one.
and just give
I unfortunately cannot because I already cleared my glass. So let me get a
just
sniff here.
give a sniff of that. It is so sweet.
Oh my God.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
100%. And same with the flavor. The flavor is incredible now.
So I did have a little bit left, and I did drink it, yes, and it did mellow out. So I mean, it's weird. So like when you add a drop of water and then let it really, really air out, it became much sweeter. Because I tried all of them at the end with a little bit of water in them.
Well, and I think it also has to do with going from that rye straight back to it.
Right. So who was it? Was it Tyler? I don't think you were with us that day because I don't think you have joined us when we've actually sat with Tyler. So Tyler does this weird, neat trick where you smell one of the Old Foresters and then you smell another one and then you go back to the other one and it's like crazy the difference.
Oh yeah.
Agreed.
It's like, and I want to say it was like 1870 to the rye back to the 1870 or something like that. I don't remember what it was. I'll have to text Tyler and ask him, but it was crazy the smell difference.
That was before I was a special guest.
It might have been. I don't think.
I know it was.
Oh, so you remember the episode then?
No, I just know it hasn't been since I've been around.
Gotcha. Okay.
You know, I went back to the Old Forester
Amen.
single barrel, and I still get the apples.
Yeah.
And
I
even
do.
with a little bit
Very,
of water
very strong.
and just left a little bit in there.
Yep.
I go back to the apples.
The flavor still just when you add the water, it just the whole mid.
It's still-
Yeah,
it's just not there.
I agree that the flavor's not there, the finish is not there, but the smell, that you get is really good though.
So I'm gonna rank these a little bit differently this time because of the fact that we've done a lot of sniffing. So I'm gonna go noses first.
Okay.
So noses, I'm gonna go 1 Old Forester, 2 Russells, 3 Michters. Taste, I'm gonna go all neat. I'm gonna go Michters, Russell's Old Forester.
Who'd have thunk? A rye.
Oh, I love rye. I mean, anybody knows me knows I love rye, and I love high ryes too. That's one of the reasons why I love Old Forester and Russell's and Wild Turkey because they're both high rye blends. So, but what about you, Stephen? Where are you at? Do nose first.
I would
taste.
agree with both of your assessments.
Gotcha. Okay.
Nose, I would go 2, 1, and 3
Okay. So you're going Old Forester, Russell's, Michters on the nose.
on the
okay.
nose. But taste, I'm going Michter's, Russell's, Old Forester. Even though I like the apple,
Right.
it just the taste neat, I should say. Tastes
Gotcha.
neat.
Yeah. So you're neat on all of them as well, like that.
Yes.
Okay. No water. Okay.
I am
Barbara?
definitely neat on all of them
Okay.
for sure.
Right.
That being said, the smell for nose, I definitely have to go with Old Forester, the Russells, and then the Michters,
Gotcha.
which is interesting. But at the same time, that rye has a lot of that alcohol kind of flavor
Yep.
in the nose. However, for taste, neat, it definitely has to be the Michters, the Russells, and then the Old Forester.
There you go. It's not unanimous, but it's weird that we've
pretty
got a
darn
little bit of break.
close,
It's pretty
yeah.
close. Absolutely.
It's all good.
So, what I'm gonna piggyback to finish this episode off. That I always appreciate having a woman on the show because of the fact that I always feel like women have better palates than men anyway. I think that they, well, for one, the science just says that they have more olfactory glands, things like that, than men do in general. Which is why I think Jackie Zykam is such a beast in this industry, is because of the fact that her nose and her palate are just unbelievable. But even if you look at, the other people that are master blenders, things like that, you've got Marianne Barnes, you got Annie from Four Roses and a few others. But I appreciate having you on the show because to me, it always adds a dynamic that I don't always get a chance to do because a lot of women don't want to come on here. So they're like, I don't want to sound stupid. I'm afraid I won't say something wrong. And all the other things that go with it.
Or they just don't like it.
And that's the other thing, too. You've got a large number of women that just don't like bourbon. So thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. Sounds like we are all pretty much unanimous on the flavors. We like them all, but if we're going to pick them, we're going to go neat. We're going to go Michters, Russell's, Old Forester. So if you want to find us at Bourbon Barrel Talk, you can find us at our Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. You can also email us at bourbonbarreltalk@gmail.com. You can also DM us on Facebook. That's an easy way to get a hold of us. That's actually how Nick got a hold of us. He can attest to that one. If you anything else, you can hit us up on any of those avenues. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Download the episodes immediately. That way you get all of our episodes as soon as they come out. This is Scott, Nick, Barbara, and Stephen J. Scott signing off. Peace out.